Hi all, in this video I'm going to talk about my family's little trip to Nelson, Kaslo, and Revelstoke in British Columbia over the Canadian Thanksgiving weekend this 2023. As usual, don't forget to subscribe and like. First off, to get to these places from Alberta, where we live, we need to take a ferry across the Kitsune Lake. So here are some shots of the Osprey 2000, which will take us across the lake. Above the bridge, for those that might not know, on the right is the Canadian flag, and on the left is the British Columbian flag. Well, they're not exactly waving right now, but you'll see them waving in later shots. And speaking of British Columbia, this province is neither British nor Columbian. But anyway, and also it's an actual, bridge as compared to the command area of any other vessel. It's really interesting, the etymology of various words in English, eh? From what I understand, before steam vessels, it was usually called the wheelhouse, and this term being bridge, as we can see here, it's an actual bridge, right? Is because it would usually sit across from the paddle wheels, forming an actual bridge. You know, the actual definition of the thing that spans between a body of water or a valley, canyon, whatever. So I guess that's how this word came about. Now, the area it crosses across Kootenay Lake takes more or less 20 to 25 minutes. You would think they would actually build a bridge, I'm talking about bridges again, across this crossing. But I suppose, just like buying a house, we're not going to spend a huge amount of money to make this bridge. Instead, we're going to pay fuel or a mortgage. And we don't know, I haven't looked into it, if they will ever decide to build a bridge, but there's a lot of ferries in this area, and this is one of them. And this runs, yeah, I said 25 minutes, and 25 minutes across, boarding time about 5 minutes, another 25 minutes back, another boarding time of 5 minutes, so it runs about every hour from each shore, which is convenient for scheduling. So our car is currently parked in this lineup, awaiting our turn to board, with a little bit of space to allow cars to go across and disembark. So now it's our time to board. Do excuse the small blemishes on the screen. There were a few too many insects on the road that we unfortunately ran into. And the vessel is relatively sizable, but I suppose that's needed to transport the amount of traffic that goes across this lake. I'm trying to reduce the amount of shake. Do excuse the shaking later on in the video. Here's a view from one of the two passenger areas, and again the bridge. There's also a cabin, which we'll visit later on. And off we go. Quite windy. Let's turn that off, eh? Now, the radar is running, and the flags are waving in the wind. And we get some nice views, eh? The inside is, well, inside. It's blue, I guess? And here's an image of how this ferry was made. You can pause to read if you want. And now we're off. To the left, there's Nelson, and to the right is Kaslo. So let's start with a beach near Kaslo with views of the surrounding hills. It's quite colorful, and the water quite clear. Next, we walk toward a waterfall, where we find an adorable pumpkin couple coming up soon. Do excuse the shake. I don't have very good camera equipment, but let's take in this waterfall. And here's another view of this waterfall. Next, we enter Kaslo, where we find the SS Bowie, apparently the oldest intact sternwheeler of its type in the world. And another infographic. The areas we visited are known for their red maple trees, so here's a great looking one. And a few leaves. We went to Ainsworth Hot Springs before heading towards Nelson, where we stayed for the next 2 nights. But since showing people in swimsuits is messy with YouTube's rules, I decided to omit that shot. This bridge we are now crossing will be important later in this video, as it will be the anchor for many of my later shots. And also, Mother took a lot of pictures of trees, so it became quite late after she was finished. And for dinner we went to Yum Sun, where we had some pho with pork duck, meatballs and beef, yellow curry chicken, and fried noodles with chicken and beef, mini bean sprouts. Day 2 with some nice clouds rolling in. There's also a train track where 4 trains woke me up both nights. Not a great place if you are a light sleeper. Anyway, right in the morning, we visited a Japanese maple garden. Again, please excuse the shaky cam. Some nice decorations there, some band instrument stuff. And a worker taking care of the garden also brought her dog, who decided to get on camera a few times. Notice that these Japanese maple leaves are quite different from Canadian maple leaves. And this garden celebrates the 10-year anniversary of the Nelson Shuzenzi sister city relationship. Do excuse that mispronunciation. Oh, there's a dog again. I believe Kaidahara Kazuha from Genshin Impact would likely enjoy this garden. And speaking of water, waterfall. Next, we visited Rotary Lakeside Park. And again, there's that bridge. A lot of bridge talk in this video, huh? Here we have some Canadian geese taking over a field. Look at this sign. What? The park also has a tram, which we didn't ride, but it's cool, I guess. Someone left their jeans on the station roof. After that, we climbed a nearby hill for this view over the city. The city also has an airport, but no flights today. From the mountain you just saw from the previous shots, we can see most of Nelson as we climbed up. And after coming down, taking a shower, we went to dinner at Finley's. We'll use this photo from the tourist website because my phone doesn't do night shots very well. Anyway, we had chicken burger, or I had chicken burger and soup, while the older folks had their Thanksgiving platter. Food was great, would recommend. Next morning, more clouds. This will be more important later. As the fog rolled in, we visited this peculiar waterfall near a rest area. To get to Revelstoke, we must board another ferry. The fog made it look quite like another planet, huh? And due to the fog, the ferry honked its horn periodically. Anyway, boarding time. Now do watch this entire scene. There's a funny part at the end, depending on your sense of humor. This ferry kind of looks like an aircraft carrier, eh? With the bridge on the side of the vessel. Don't worry, I'm not driving. Father is. Ah, here's the guy. Watch him. He's the quote-unquote funny person. What is this hand gesture, huh? Anyway, we departed with fog following us the entire way. No views. At least, good views anyway. And wind. But anyway, at Revelstoke, we stopped for lunch at La Baguette for Montreal smoked meat, Chipotle turkey club, and pulled pork. And here's all of them together. They also had pastries. So yeah, that's the end of this video log. I hope you enjoyed it. If you liked it, give it a like. If not, well, you know. And please subscribe to support the channel and for more vids. Bye!